I was ready for the next chant. Kim, I was ready for the next chant.
Hi, how are you? Coming in with the people. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Hi.
Take one more step forward. Okay. There we go.
Good, Barbara, turn around. Back here.
Up higher.
Where's Alan? Where's the
Let your
second
hair
mic?
don't look lovely.
Sorry about it. Sorry.
This mic.
Kim. Yep. Can you bring the microphone to her, please? We have a. Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
Let's see if we can move it.
Alan, don't worry about it.
So, I'll move it. I got it.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone. Woo!
Barbara. Nope. We heard you welcome.
As I said, welcome, everyone. My name is Barbara Williams, Niger resident from Polo Ground Tower, and a proud member of Community Voices Heard. We're here because, once again, Niger residents have been put to the back of the line, and we are fed up with it. I repeat, fed up.
Fed up.
But first, I want to recognize other groups that are here to join us. Let's hear it for Residents to Protect Public Housing. We have Mr. Charles Barron, council member from East New York, Brooklyn. We have Councilwoman Alexa Arrears. She is chair of Public Housing Committee. And we have residents here that we will be hearing from also. Excuse me, Kim, because I like to talk to people when I'm talking. Let them know that I know who they are. So thank you for that. When this pandemic hit, public housing residents were hit hard. Many people lost their jobs, could no longer make ends meet. People fell behind in their rent. New York State Emergency Rental Assistance Program had almost $3 billion. Let me repeat that, $3 billion. Wow. And that was to help pay back rent. But public housing residents have to go through the end of the line. Yet again.
That ain't right.
Yet again.
That ain't right.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, I just get kind of emotional when I start talking about stuff. Because I think about all the families, all the children. And this is why I do what I do. But today, I'm not going to get too emotional and scream at somebody. So they've got to hear what we have to say. Enough is enough.
Right. Enough.
We can't keep doing this.
That's right.
Everybody else was invited to get, assisted with their rent because of the pandemic that we had some time ago. And they got that money. Everybody got money. Everybody but people who live in public housing.
That ain't right.
They were asked to stay home too because of the pandemic.
That's right.
No, people in public housing don't just sit there
Right.
waiting for somebody to do something. They work too.
That's right.
When stuff come up, they didn't say that, public housing, you don't have to pay your taxes because you live in public housing.
Okay.
All of us speak loud just like everybody else does, okay?
Yes, Barbara.
And when that happens, and something like the pandemic occurred, and everybody is being bailed out, and yes, they did deserve that. I'm not taking that away. But public housing residents deserve it also. Enough is enough of putting public housing residents on the end of the line.
That's right. No, that's right.
And all of the money was given out, and there was nothing left for Niger residents. That ain't right.
No, that ain't right.
That ain't right. No other state in the United States, other than New York alone, decided that public housing residents were less important than everybody else.
Shame. That's a shame.
less important. They rent those that need to be paid, I guess. So we need to stay important. Our money count too.
That's right.
That's right.
When we go to pay our bills, it doesn't say public housing. Oh, keep your money.
Right. That's right.
They don't say stuff like that to us. They don't even know who we are.
That's right.
Only our officials now seem to think that our address and location and the name of our campuses make us somebody different, I guess. We have families. We have children.
That's right.
We got to make sure they go to school. We think about their futures and what they're going to become.
That's right.
Being supportive to one another. Same thing that goes on in any other community.
Right.
We are public housing residents, and we deserve what everybody else gets.
Yes.
Now, you know, Niger need a total of $591 million to make our residents whole. And this affects all of us. Because public housing residents were denied the support. Niger now has only 1 month of operating expenses in the bank.
Right. That's not right.
That's not right.
So everybody suffers.
That's right.
That's right.
Not just the people who didn't pay rent because they couldn't work,
Right.
but those of us who paid the rent throughout the pandemic and still paying their rent.
That's right.
Why are we suffering? Because we were put on the back of the line.
That ain't right.
You know, these are the things that make me really emotional. Especially this one. Because these people are now facing evictions. And not just these people. 70,000 households. 70,000 households are facing evictions. You know, Niger residents deserve basic services, and this hurts the whole city when we do this. Because Niger needs that money. 1 month of money to carry on public housing. We have a total of 332 Niger developments throughout New York.
That's right.
332 developments. More than 500,000 people will be affected because of this decision that was made, and at the last minute was told, oops, we don't have any money for you. That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
We need that money, and we need it now.
That's right. That's right. That's
We
right.
need our council to stand up and say to the mayor, add that $400 million needed to make NYCHA public housing whole.
That's right.
That's why we're here today. You don't hear much from us until you try to step on our necks and keep your foot there. Well, we don't want to put on our necks, but what we want, your hands on the pen.
That's right.
That's right.
Adding public housing residents to your budget in the next 2 weeks.
That's right.
That money belongs to us just like it belongs to everyone else.
That's right.
We want the $400 million to make Niger residents whole.
Yeah.
We
Right.
Now I want to introduce one of our champion council members, Ms. Alexa Arrears, chair of the Public Housing Committee.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. My name is Alexa Viles. I am the chair of Public Housing. I am the council member representing District 38, Sunset Park, Red Hook, Brooklyn. Very proud of my communities. Very proud of public housing residents who have been fighting and for far too long have been treated as second-class citizens in this city.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
We are tired of agencies and governmental levels pointing at each other, acting like it is not their responsibility to ensure the health and stability of public housing residents. And we are saying we are tired and no more.
No more.
As we are moving into this budget at the city level, and yes, there have been failures of investment at every level of government, defunding of public housing systematically over the decades.
That's right.
And while we know that to be true, we are saying and we are demanding and we are screaming, Mayor Adams, it is time for our city to step it up.
That's right.
It is time for our city to show, to walk the talk, while it is telling public housing residents that they are valued, that they are an important part of this city, that we are fighting for working class people, then it is time to step up and invest in public housing. What we are asking for specifically right now, knowing that there are much more needs, but extending a hand, is we want a full restoration of the eviction full restoration of the eviction vacant unit readiness program. All right, that was cut from the budget. We want a full restoration. There are 3,900 units in NYCHA sitting vacant. In the midst of a housing crisis, we have tenants who are waiting transfers for safety issues, and people who are waiting in homeless shelters. So first and foremost, we want $31 million to fully restore the vacant unit readiness program. As you heard from Ms. Barbara, our tenants did not get relief. They were fully left out of state relief in the emergency rental assistance program, forgotten and left behind yet again. So we are telling the city, while the state found $163 million, the balance must be restored, and our city must step up and invest the $400 million in rental arrears. And lastly, our other demand is, yes, what you hear is NYCHA's and $40 billion of capital arrears, and we need money. And yet our city continues to give pennies towards that capital investment. It seems to give a lot of money to RAD PAC conversions, but not to Section 9 residents. So we are asking this mayor, in our huge capital budget of this city, to at least, bare minimum, investing $2 billion in capital for NYCHA, so that we can begin to do the repairs, so that people can live in dignified housing and stop this nonsense of pointing to other other governmental levels and saying, I don't got it. Our city has it. So we are asking our fellow colleagues at City Council, we are asking the mayor and his administration to show your commitment. Show us the money.
Show us the money.
Because our budget is $106 billion, y'all. Billion with a B. With a surplus. The Independent Budget Office has told us that we're going to have a surplus, that there are unexpected revenues that we are going to show on the books. And we are acting like our residents, again, don't matter. enough is enough. Restore vacant unit readiness, invest in the arrears balance, and make sure that we are truly investing capital dollars into these residents' homes so that they can live the dignified life that they deserve.
That's right.
Yeah. And with that, I will pass it on.
Miss Barbara's got
Back
you.
to Miss Barbara.
If we don't get that money,
Then they don't get no peace.
if we don't get that money,
Then they don't get no peace.
no money,
No peace.
no money,
No peace.
Yeah.
And now, we're going to hear from Council Member Charles Barron.
What do we want? Money for nature. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Money for nature.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
That's right.
Right.
Because the money is there.
That's right.
$106.7 billion. That's just the expense budget. The capital budget is a 10-year, $169 billion capital budget. Well, damn it, give us $2 billion.
That's right.
We deserve at least $2 billion. That's the least we can ask for. I grew up in the NYCHA development. I grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the Lillian Walls. Y'all say housing developments, they were projects. Y'all got cute with housing developments. I grew up in the PJs. And look what they produced. And there's more than me like that. But you don't understand, we got some of the greatest people living in public housing. Don't you be looking down upon us because you got us living in rat-infested places. You're not taking care of housing like you should. But in spite of your neglect, we still rise in public housing. We still rise. So I want to give you a warning. Today we have a little sample of what we can pull out. There are 500,000 NYCHA residents. There will be a day when we come down here and stay and shut the city down. Shut it down. Shut it down. What do we want?
Money for nature.
When do you want it?
Now.
When?
Now.
Right on.
housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight.
Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight.
And now, we're going to have two public housing residents, Ms. Maria Pacheco and Ms. Carmen De La Rosa. Ladies, where are you?
Councilwoman.
It's okay. It's okay.
Correction, Councilwoman De La Rosa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos días a todos. Okay, I'm a member leader of Community Voices Heard. We're here to fight for our rights. That's right. Okay. I live in a senior building, and it's a shame that there's so many people there in arrears for rent. We need to get the money, and we need the money now, because they can't come out and fight. So that's why we're here, to fight for them. That's right. To get what we want the city to award this money, $400 million to help with the arrears. So please, give us that money. Necesitamos ese dinero, que la ciudad nos dé, porque tenemos mucha gente que puede perder sus hogares. No los queremos en la calle. Son mucha gente mayores y niños. So, denos el dinero.
That's right.
Ahora.
Thank you, Maria.
everybody. I'm Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa. I represent Upper Manhattan, Washington Heights. I have Dykeman houses, Marble Hill houses in my district. I want to thank CBH and all of the tenants who have been showing up and showing out at every single hearing. I would be remiss if I did not honor the leadership of Councilmember Alexa Avila. As our chair of public housing, she has really worked to center the voices of our constituents. First time I've ever witnessed it. And let me tell you, Charles and I, we've been around the block. Thank you, Alexa, for your leadership. And I also want to say, you know, Charles and I served in the assembly together. We chose to create chaos. Remember? The first version of ERAP that came out, we chose to create chaos. We got in trouble, Charles. But we don't care about none of that. We don't care about none of that because we understood. We understood that ERAP wasn't complete if it excluded the people who needed it most. Now, I have a question for this administration. Are NYCHA tenants not New Yorkers? Are NYCHA tenants not New Yorkers? We are sick and tired of having the executives of our government, whether it be the federal government, state government, or now city government, exclude NYCHA tenants as though they are not New Yorkers. We know and we've heard time and time again, we're in a housing crisis, y'all. We're in a housing crisis, y'all. Well, the last time I read about my New York City history, public housing was the solution for the homelessness crisis. And so, how quickly do we forget Black and brown New Yorkers and leave them living in squalor? Well, we are here to say that as council members, we are not going to support continuing the exclusion of NYCHA tenants in this budget. I stand with my colleagues here today. I stand with Community Voices Heard, but most of all, I stand with NYCHA residents across this city in calling for a drop in the bucket, really, y'all. If you think about $106 billion budget, we're asking for $400 million with an M? Come on now. NYCHA tenants deserve more. And we're going to continue to stand with you until we see a budget that reflects the dignity that you have long deserved.
When public housing is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When public housing is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. I want to recognize that public advocate officers, John Francis, Deputy of Housing, they're here representing.
Yeah!
I'd like to thank our elected officials for coming out and all of the people who came out too. I am in one of the greatest organizations in New York. Community Voices Heard.
Yes!
Everybody, give yourself a hand for coming out and doing such a wonderful job. I am proud to say I'm a member leader of Community Voices Heard. And now we're going to say thank you again. Our time is over.
All right.
So we'll see you another time.